Before we get into anything, I need you to understand one thing. Life is not soft. It will test you. It will hit you when you're unprepared. And if you don't build yourself to be solid, unbreakable, hard, then this world will shape you into something you never wanted to be. Today isn't about hype. It's about the truth most people avoid. I'm here to give you the mindset that turns pressure into power, that transforms setbacks into fuel, that makes people say, that person, they don't fold. This is the mindset that makes you hard, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically prepared for the marathon of life. Let's get into the 6 principles that create that version of you. Before we talk about anything else, understand this. The foundation of becoming solid, unshakable, and respected starts in your mind. Not in your bank account, not on your social media page, not when people finally recognize your talent. It starts in the quiet moments when nobody's watching and you choose discipline over comfort. Most people don't lose because life is unfair or because they lack opportunity or because someone blocked their blessing. Most people lose because they can't control their mind. They move off emotion, and emotions are temporary. One day they feel inspired and they go hard. The next day they feel tired, sad, unbothered, or distracted, and they disappear on themselves. Their dreams stay trapped in the cycle of when I feel like it. You can't build anything legendary on a mindset like that. If you want to be unbreakable, if you want to walk through life with a certain firmness in your chest, a certain calm in chaos, a certain confidence that says I can't be bent or broken, then discipline has to sit in the driver's seat of your life. It has to become your lifestyle, not your mood. Motivation is like fireworks. Loud, exciting, beautiful, but it burns out quick. Discipline is a sunrise. It shows up regardless every day, rain or shine, and brings light with it. When you build discipline, you don't need to feel good to do what needs to be done. You move because the mission is bigger than your mood. That's what separates people who get results from people who simply talk about what they want. There was a study by the University of Chicago that proved something powerful. Students who created daily systems, simple habits they stuck to, outperformed the students who claimed they were highly motivated by more than 60% over one semester. That means the kid who wasn't the most inspired, smartest, or fired up still won because they had structure. Systems beat hype. Consistency beats excitement. The ones who win in life are rarely the loudest. They're the ones who show up even when nobody's clapping for them. Think about any time you set a goal. Maybe you told yourself you'd hit the gym every morning or write a business plan or study for a new skill. The first few days, easy. You're pumped. You see the future. You can taste success. But then reality sets in. You're sore. You're tired. Something stressful happens. Your friends want to hang out. Netflix drops something new. Suddenly the mission you swore you were committed to becomes optional. That's the moment most people fold. That exact moment is where strength gets built or broken. Mental hardness is an everyday battle with the part of you that wants comfort, and that part is sneaky. It sounds like logic. It whispers excuses that feel reasonable. You worked hard yesterday. You deserve a break today. You'll start next week. It's not the right time yet. Those thoughts are the thieves of destiny. If you listen to them long enough, you'll wake up one day with regret as your only trophy. Develop a mind with backbone. You need daily discipline practices that become non-negotiable. Not optional, not if I feel like it, non-negotiable. One of the strongest things you can do is wake up when you said you would. Not when the alarm goes off and you bargain for 10 more minutes of sleep. Not after you scroll your phone. The moment you hit snooze, you teach your mind that your word to yourself is flexible. And if your word to yourself doesn't mean anything, nothing in your life will have firm structure. But when you get up as promised, no second guessing, you plant a seed of self-respect. You prove to yourself that you can rely on you. That's how confidence is born. Another key to building mental strength is doing the hardest tasks first. Knock out the thing you dread early. There's a psychological momentum that comes with that. When you conquer something difficult at the start of your day, the rest of the day feels lighter. You walk different. You think clearer. You build a track record with yourself that says, I don't run from challenges, I run at them. And soon other people start to feel that energy off you. Train your mind intentionally the same way people train their bodies. Reading is mental weightlifting. Reflection is stretching. Silence is recovery. Books feed your intellect. Reflection helps you evaluate your decisions and patterns so you keep improving. Silence strengthens your focus because it forces you to be comfortable alone with your thoughts. Most people can't sit in silence because without noise distracting them, they have to face who they are. Discipline grows in stillness. Some people avoid reflection because it exposes the gap between who they say they are and who they actually choose to be daily. But closing that gap is where transformation happens. You'll start to notice your triggers, your weaknesses, and your excuses. And once you see them, you can no longer pretend you don't know. Awareness forces growth. Understand this, when your mind becomes disciplined, the world becomes easier, not because the world changed, but because you did. You stop reacting to everything. You stop letting outside circumstances control your day. A disciplined mind doesn't panic under pressure. It doesn't fold when things don't go as planned. It adapts. It adjusts. It stays rooted. A disciplined mind doesn't chase temporary pleasure at the cost of long-term purpose. It sacrifices now to shine later. You ever meet someone who always seems calm, even when their life is chaotic? Someone who can handle stress without complaining? Someone who keeps moving forward when others would have quit? That's not luck. That's not personality. That's a trained mind. That's discipline, built over 1,000 silent mornings when nobody else knew the internal battles they were fighting. Life will test you. It will tell you no. It will make you wait longer than you want. It will knock you down more than once. A mentally weak person sees those moments as signs to stop. A mentally disciplined person sees them as reps, like weights in the gym, strengthening them for the next level. And hear this clearly, discipline is a form of self-love. It's telling yourself, I deserve better than the comfort that's keeping me average. It's refusing to lie to yourself to feel good today because you'd rather be great tomorrow. When you keep the promises you make to yourself, you create a self-image of a winner, and the world responds to that energy. Doors open, opportunities align, people respect consistency, they trust it because it's rare. Every dream you admire, every success story you respect, every person you look at and say, damn, they're solid. They weren't built off motivation. They were built off disciplined days stacked on top of each other. Quiet, boring, lonely, repetitive days of commitment. While others slept in, complained, or made excuses, disciplined people were building. If you want to be mentally strong, stop asking for the path to be easier. Ask for the discipline to become better. Because once your mind is solid, there's nothing, no circumstance, no person, no setback that can stop you. You won't just survive life, you'll shape it. And that is where being truly hard begins. Before you choose a path, before you decide what success looks like for you, you have to get clear on why you're even waking up every day. A lot of people are alive, but they're not living with intention. They're reacting, not creating. They're drifting through life like a leaf in the wind. Wherever life blows them, that's where they end up. And because they never took the time to define their purpose, they attach themselves to anything that gives temporary comfort or attention. If you don't know what you stand for, you'll fall for anything that looks shiny in the moment. That's how people end up lost in someone else's dream, stuck in circles, or waking up one day realizing they lived on autopilot instead of on assignment. Purpose is different. Purpose is your inner compass. It's the armor that protects you when life hits you hard, when you're tired, misunderstood, doubted, or going through hell. Your purpose is the voice that reminds you why quitting is not an option. Pressure exposes people. Some get crushed by it because they were moving off ego, trends, validation, or a fantasy version of success. But when you're moving with purpose, pressure doesn't break you. It sharpens you. Purpose turns your struggle into training. To find your purpose, you have to ask yourself the uncomfortable questions most people avoid. Sit with yourself and ask, if money didn't matter, how would I choose to spend my time? Remove the paycheck, remove the applause, remove the fear of judgment. What would you still love to wake up and do? Then ask, who do I want to become in 10 years? Not what job title you want or what car you're driving. Who do you want to be as a person? How do you want people to feel after encountering you? What impact do you want to leave behind? And the question that unlocks everything, what problem am I here to solve? Because purpose is always tied to service. It's connected to elevating something or someone beyond yourself. Life becomes powerful when you connect your gifts, your story, and your pain to a mission bigger than your ego. That's when you stop walking and you start marching. That's when every step has weight. But you won't discover that mission in comfort. You find it in struggle, in silence, in reflection, in the moments life forces you to grow. People want clarity before they move, but clarity often comes after you take the first step. Look at the people who came from the toughest situations, broken homes, poverty, trauma, environments where hope was rare. Once they found purpose, something inside them clicked. They didn't need anyone to believe in them because they had already survived conditions that would have destroyed others. When you've lived through the fire, success doesn't intimidate you. You feel like you already paid the price. You're just collecting what you earned spiritually. That's why so many creators, entrepreneurs, athletes, leaders, and innovators who rose from nothing became unstoppable. It wasn't talent that carried them. Plenty of talented people never make it. It was purpose. Their purpose was louder than the excuses, stronger than their fears, and deeper than the obstacles. They weren't chasing fame, they were chasing meaning. Walk into any neighborhood where opportunity is limited and you'll find raw talent everywhere. Artists, thinkers, strategists, hustlers, builders. But talent without purpose burns out early. It gets distracted, influenced, tempted, or diluted. Purpose is what turns raw ability into legacy. It gives direction to the grind. When you have purpose, you don't chase validation, you chase evolution. You're not trying to impress people, you're trying to impact them. That shift changes everything. Some people confuse passion with purpose. Passion is what excites you. Purpose is what fulfills you. Passion is about feeling good. Purpose is about becoming who you were meant to be. Passion fades when things get difficult, but purpose stays steady. It's the deeper why underneath everything you do. If passion is the spark, purpose is the oxygen. It keeps the fire alive. Purpose also has a way of humbling you. When you realize you're on this planet for something bigger than self, your ego shrinks and your vision expands. You stop comparing your journey to others because you realize you're not in competition with anyone. You're here to complete a mission only you can do with your exact story, background, pain, gifts, and voice. Nobody can replace you in what you're meant to do. Copying someone else kills the power of your assignment. Purpose demands authenticity. But finding purpose doesn't mean life becomes easy. In fact, life often gets harder once you align with your mission because growth is required. You'll lose people who can't go where you're going. You'll have days where your purpose feels too heavy. You'll question yourself, doubt yourself, and face moments where the vision seems bigger than your ability. But that's the point. Purpose is supposed to stretch you. It requires you to evolve. It forces you to become the version of yourself that your dream needs to be fulfilled. If your purpose doesn't scare you a little, it's too small. People ask, how do I know if I'm living in my purpose? Here's the truth. Purpose feels like responsibility. It feels like something you must do even when you're tired. It feels like something that keeps you awake at night, not with anxiety, but with urgency. Purpose feels like alignment. Things start connecting in ways you can't explain. You meet the right people at the right time. Opportunities show up that match your mission. Doors open that were locked before. That's the universe responding to your clarity. When you move with purpose, you stop settling for anything that doesn't serve your mission. Friendships, relationships, jobs, habits. You start protecting your energy. You become selective with what you entertain because you understand your time is currency in the journey toward fulfilling your assignment. And not everybody's meant to join you. Purpose will isolate you before it rewards you. It will separate you before it elevates you. But that isolation is training. It's building your voice, your identity, your inner strength. You need a season where it's just you and the vision, so nobody can claim they built you. Purpose also heals. It turns pain into guidance. It turns trauma into fuel. It turns setbacks into teachings. When you understand that everything you went through wasn't punishment but preparation, life hits different. You look back at hardships and realize they weren't obstacles, they were instructions. They were shaping your heart, sharpening your intuition, expanding your capacity. Purpose gives pain a direction so it doesn't stay stuck inside you. Instead of your wounds become scars that limit you, they become wisdom that elevates you and others. A person with purpose moves different, calmer, more intentional, more patient, more grounded. They don't chase everything because they know what's theirs won't miss them. They don't fear losing because they know what they're here to do is bigger than any single outcome. They don't get distracted by trends or jealousy because they understand everyone's journey has a different assignment. Purpose gives you peace. It gives you strength. It gives you a reason to keep pushing when nothing around you looks promising. So ask yourself, really ask, why am I here? What am I building? Who needs me to become the best version of myself? And don't rush the answer. Purpose reveals itself through action, through reflection, through life. But once it finds you, once you lock into it, nothing and nobody can stop you, because a person with purpose is a force, and a force can't be moved. Everybody talks about success like it's a lottery ticket, like one day you just wake up and everything falls into place. But the truth most people don't want to hear is that before anything becomes great, it lives a long time in the dark. Before anybody claps for you, reposts you, celebrates you, or speaks highly of your name, there's a season where it's just you and the grind. No spotlight, no recognition, no applause, just work. And that's the part that separates the ones who dream from the ones who build. Everybody wants the results, few want the grind. Few want the early mornings when the world is still asleep. Few want the late nights when their body is tired and their mind is begging for comfort. Few want to show up when the motivation ran out 3 weeks ago. The grind is not glamorous, and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to test you. It's supposed to check your heart and make you prove, do you want this because it's cute or because it's calling you? To become solid, your work ethic has to be loud in action and quiet in announcement. If you're always talking about what you're going to do, what you're trying to do, or what you plan to build, that's ego talking. Real builders don't announce blueprints. They reveal results. Real work shows up in silence first. It shows up when you keep your head down and stay locked in, not for validation, but because you expect more from yourself. You don't grind so people can clap. You grind because excellence is the only version of you that feels right. Work when nobody claps. That's the real test. It's easy to move when people are cheering for you, supporting you, hyping you up. But what happens when the likes stop, when nobody cares, when nobody is checking on your progress? That's when most people fall off. But the ones who make it, the ones who build something real, those are the people who learn to clap for themselves in silence. They learn to create their own momentum. They don't need an audience. They need a mission. Work when nobody reposts you. In a world where everyone's highlight reel is on display, people crave attention more than impact. They'll work hard only if someone is watching, filming, or sharing it online. But the internet is not your coach. Strangers online are not your accountability. You have to validate yourself. If you only grind when it's visible, you'll never reach the level where your name carries weight. The strongest foundations are poured underground, unseen. Work when nobody sees the vision but you. You might share your dream with friends, family, people around you, and they'll look at you like you're speaking a foreign language. They won't understand the scale of what you're building because they weren't given the vision you were. Stop expecting people to back something they can't comprehend. Some people don't believe in your dreams because they've killed their own. Others don't believe because they've never seen someone break out of the environment they know. But that doesn't mean you shrink your dream. It means you build it until they can't deny it. Every overnight success you ever seen was 10 years in the dark. Years working with no budget. Years learning, failing, adjusting. Years of doubting themselves but choosing to push anyway. Years of being broke but still seeing themselves as future millionaires. Years of being unknown but training like the world depended on their greatness. People only see the finished product, the viral moment, the big contract, the sold out shows, the successful business, but they don't see the nights full of pressure, sacrifices, and self-doubt that led to that moment. Look at any major brand and you'll find a story of obscurity behind it. Before the world cared, the creator cared. Before the world invested, they invested. Before it became a movement, it was a small idea that someone refused to let die. That's what work ethic looks like. Showing up when no one is watching because you understand that consistency in the dark is what attracts the spotlight later. You don't chase the spotlight comes find you when you've earned it. And the crazy thing is, once it arrives, people will swear it happened fast. They'll swear you got lucky. They'll swear someone put you on. And that's how you'll know you did it right, because they never saw the grind, only the glory. The grind is lonely. That's something people don't talk about enough. There will be seasons where your dedication will start separating you from people. You'll notice that while they're chilling, partying, scrolling, sleeping, you're working, you're studying, you're training, you're creating, you're sacrificing. And sacrifice doesn't feel good in the moment. It feels like isolation. It feels like missing out. But what you're really doing is leveling up. Elevation requires separation, not because you're better than anyone, but because where you're going requires a stronger version of you. There will be moments where you second guess everything, where you wonder if your effort is worth it, where you question if the dream is too big, where life hits you with setbacks that make quitting look reasonable. But this is where your work ethic becomes your anchor. When you train your mind to show up regardless of how you feel, you become unstoppable. You stop negotiating with your potential. Think of the people who build empires from scratch. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for perfect timing. They didn't wait for the right connections. They worked with what they had, where they were, until it grew. They mastered the art of showing up every day. And consistency compounds. It builds reputation, skill, and belief. The world rewards those who refuse to disappear when things get quiet. Your work ethic is a language. It speaks for you when your mouth stays closed. When you walk into a room, people should feel your standard without you ever needing to say a word. They should see the discipline in your eyes, in your posture, in your execution. Real ones can spot a grinder instantly because the hunger, the discipline, and the focus can't be faked. Work ethic is self-respect in motion. It's saying, I refuse to hand my future to chance. It's honoring your talent with effort. It's treating your dream like a job long before it pays you like one. Most people wait for results before they give effort. Champions give effort until results have no choice but to show up. If you plant seeds and water them daily, one day you will wake up in a garden. But most people plant once, forget to water, and then complain about the harvest they never tended to. Don't be that person. Tend to your dream like it's alive because it is. Feed it, protect it, work on it like everything you want is on the other side of one more hour of effort. There will come a moment when the world finally sees you, when the same people who doubted you will claim they supported you, when the same people who ignored you will ask how you did it, and the answer will always be the same. I worked when you didn't. I believed when you couldn't. I stayed down until I came up. Stay consistent in the dark and the light will find you. When people talk about being solid, most jump straight to toughness, how much you can take, how you hold yourself, how unshakable you appear. But being solid is deeper than looking strong on the outside. It's about who you are when nobody is watching, when nobody can clap for you, when nobody can expose you if you slip. Real strength starts with character. Being the type of person whose name holds weight because it's built on truth, not image. Anybody can look hard for a moment, but character is what keeps you respected for a lifetime. It's the part of you that can't be bought, can't be bribed, and can't be bent by temptation. We live in a time where people trade values for validation like it's nothing. Integrity is rare now. People switch up for views, for a quick bag, for attention from strangers who forget them in 48 hours. People sell loyalty for clout, sell respect for followers, sell honesty for shortcuts. But the thing about rare qualities is they carry more value. The fewer people that have them, the more unforgettable they become. In a world full of masks, being real is priceless. Solid character shows up in the decisions you make daily, not the speeches you post online. Keeping your words sounds simple, but it's becoming uncommon. When you tell someone you're going to do something, do it. When you say you'll show up, show up. When you make a promise to yourself, keep it. Your word is a contract with your soul. Every time you break it, you chip away at your self-respect. And every time you honor it, you build a reputation with yourself that says, I can count on me. That energy radiates. People can feel when you're dependable. Your opportunities shift when others know you move with consistency. Treating people with respect, even when they can't benefit you, shows your true character. Anybody can be kind to someone who can elevate them. But how do you treat the janitor, the server, the intern, the person with no connections, the individual society overlooks? That's your real reflection. Some of the most life-changing blessings come from the people you think have nothing to offer. A single act of respect can open doors years later that money can't buy. Never look down on anyone. You don't know who they are becoming, and you don't know what battles they're fighting. A solid person leaves others feeling valued, not used. And don't cut corners. This world tries to convince you that cheating the process is the smart route, that the easiest way is the best way, but shortcuts always come with hidden costs. You might get ahead temporarily, but you pay for it later in regret, exposure, or lack of foundation. Cutting corners steals from your own greatness because you rob yourself of the growth that comes from earning it the right way. When you build something brick by brick, nobody can knock it down. When you cheat your way up, all it takes is one push and everything falls apart. Skill without integrity is empty. Success without values is fragile. If you want longevity, build with patience, honesty, and pride in your craftsmanship. Character is like credit. Once ruined, it's hard to get back. You can lose reputation in one moment of poor judgment, and it could take years to repair. That's why you protect it like an asset. Guard it with the same seriousness you guard your money, your home, your dreams. Don't let temporary emotions make permanent stains on who you are. Don't let pressure make you abandon your principles. Your character is the legacy that remains when everything else gets stripped away. If your name is all you had left, will people still respect it? Some people focus so much on talent, networking, and strategy that they forget character is the greatest passport in the world. People may doubt your skills, but if they trust your name, you'll always open doors. There are people who became successful not because they were the best, but because they could be trusted. And there are people who lost everything, not because of lack of talent, but because nobody trusted them anymore. When your name stands for something, opportunities look for you, mentors vouch for you, rooms welcome you, doors open that other people can't access, because trust is more valuable than talent. Your character is tested most when nobody would know if you slipped. It's in the unseen choices. The money you could take but don't. The gossip you could spread but don't. The anger you could unleash but choose to control. Being solid isn't about perfection. It's about alignment between your values and your actions. You will make mistakes, we all do, but own them, fix them, learn from them. People don't expect perfection. They expect honesty. Accountability is a trait that separates leaders from pretenders. When you mess up and stand on responsibility instead of excuses, people respect you more, not less. Your circle reflects your character too. If you surround yourself with people who lie, cheat, and betray, eventually you'll compromise to fit in. But if you surround yourself with people who stand on principles, who operate with integrity, who inspire you to move right, you'll keep rising. Protect your energy and your standards. Alignment matters. You shouldn't have to lower your character to belong. And understand this, character isn't something you perform, it's something you live. The real test is time. Anyone can act solid for a season, but who are you year after year? When life changes you, when you level up, when the money hits, when the attention comes, do your values stay the same? Success doesn't build character, it exposes it. Money just reveals who you already were. Fame magnifies your habits. Power amplifies your truth. If your foundation is weak, before the blessings arrive, the blessings will break you. That's why character must come before elevation. So when life expands, you don't shrink morally. There will be moments where being solid costs you. You may lose opportunities because you refuse to play dirty. You may lose relationships because you wouldn't betray yourself to keep them. You may walk away from situations where folding would have been easier, but in the long run, standing on integrity always pays back with interest. The rewards of character are never instant, but they are forever. Think about the people you admire deeply, the ones whose legacy impacts generations. It's not just what they accomplished, it's who they were. It's how they moved. It's the principles they stood on, even when it was unpopular. That's the kind of respect that doesn't fade. That's the kind of influence that outlives a lifetime. Your name is a brand whether you realize it or not. Every choice designs the reputation attached to it. You decide daily what your name will mean. When people speak on you, will they say you're genuine, loyal, accountable, respectful, dependable, or will they say you're unpredictable, selfish, dishonest, inconsistent? You choose that through action, not words. If you want to be unshakable in life, start with character. Because skill gets you in the room, but character keeps you there. Talent opens the door, but integrity builds the trust that lets you stay, grow, and elevate others with you. Be the kind of person whose presence inspires people to rise, and whose absence is felt because you added value everywhere you stood. That's the kind of solid this world remembers. You can want growth with your whole heart. You can pray for elevation. You can grind every day. But if the people around you are living small, thinking small, speaking small, and moving small, it's only a matter of time before they pull you back down to the size of their comfort zone. You can't be solid around people who live soft. You can't stay hungry if you're surrounded by people who are full off the bare minimum. Environment is everything. The wrong circle will drain the greatness out of you without ever laying a hand on you. The right circle will pull a version of you out that you didn't even know existed. Energy is contagious, more contagious than any virus, trend, or influence. You can catch ambition from the right people, and you can catch laziness from the wrong ones. You can absorb confidence, discipline, and vision from the right circle, and you can absorb doubt, excuses, and fear from the wrong one. You never stay the same. You rise or you decline depending on who you're close to. Your circle will either sharpen you or soften you. And too many people lose the race of life not because they lack the talent, but because they surrounded themselves with people who made average feel acceptable. Look at your life right now. Look at your habits, your mindset, your energy. Look at your triggers, your distractions, your dreams. Then look at the 5 people you talk to the most. If you want to understand your future, study your circle. A Harvard study proves something powerful. Your income, your habits, your health, your confidence, and even the risks you're willing to take are heavily influenced by the 5 people closest to you. You don't even realize the level of psychological influence your environment has on you. Sit with anyone long enough and you start picking up their slang, their mindset, their beliefs, their limits, their fears. Imagine sitting with greatness consistently. What would you become? Imagine sitting with complacency consistently. Who would you shrink into? You need 3 types of people around you if you want to elevate. You need builders, dreamers, and doers. Builders are the ones who challenge your growth. They don't let you settle for good enough. They see your potential and hold you accountable to it. Builders are the ones who say, I love what you did, but you can do it better. They don't stroke your ego. They stretch your limits. They help you architect your life with intention. Builders push you into rooms you're scared of, introduce you to opportunities, and remind you of the standard you set for yourself. They don't compete with you. They compete with your comfort zone. If you don't have at least one builder in your circle, you'll plateau. And you need dreamers, not the kind that talk and never move, but the ones whose vision is bigger than the block they grew up on. People who see beyond their environment, who don't let circumstance define destiny. Dreamers are expanders. They make you believe more is possible. They remind you not to limit your imagination just because others settled. They speak life into ideas that sound crazy at first because their mind lives in the future. Dreamers fuel hope, creativity, and ambition. They're the ones who say, why not us? Why not now? Why not bigger? You need that energy, especially when life tries to shrink your vision. And then you need doers, people who execute daily, people who wake up and apply pressure with or without motivation, people who live what others post quotes about. Doers don't talk about what they're about to do. They show results. They simplify excuses with action. Being around doers removes your ability to lie to yourself. You can't say I can't when you're around someone who finds a way. You can't stay stagnant around someone who's constantly evolving. Doers make consistency normal. When you see someone you know grinding, building, and leveling up in real time, it awakens something inside you. It reminds you that you can't afford to waste days. If the people you hang with the most aren't builders, dreamers, or doers, then what are they? Be honest. Are they complainers? Are they gossipers? Are they excuse makers? Are they people who numb their pain instead of dealing with it? Are they people who get high off distractions and low off discipline? Are they people who laugh at growth, mock ambition, clown you for wanting more? If so, understand this. They're not friends. They're anchors. If your circle doesn't push you to level up, it's not a circle. it's a cage. You're not growing with them, you're trapped by them. Sometimes the people who have known you the longest are the least capable of seeing who you're becoming. They're attached to your old self because your growth exposes their lack of movement. The moment you decide to elevate, you become a mirror, and people either step up or step away. Don't dim your light to make others comfortable. Don't shrink your voice so others don't feel insecure. Don't pretend to be average so average minds accept you. Your evolution will offend people who are committed to staying the same. Let it. That's part of leveling up. Generational trauma. It's okay to outgrow people. It doesn't mean you think you're better. It means you're becoming better for yourself. You're allowed to want more. You're allowed to protect your peace. You're allowed to choose environments that nourish your potential instead of draining your soul. Growth requires pruning. Sometimes the people you thought would be with you in chapter 10 were only meant for chapter 3. Love them, pray for them, but keep moving. Your destiny isn't tied to those who refuse to grow with you. Start paying attention to how you feel after spending time with people. Do you leave inspired or drained? Do you leave with clarity or confusion? Do you leave motivated or mentally exhausted? Do you leave wanting to be better or just wanting to escape? Your energy after the interaction tells you everything. Protect it, guard it like treasure. The right circle feels different. They speak dreams, not drama. They share knowledge, not gossip. They celebrate your wins, not envy them. They correct you with love, not with ego. They remind you of your greatness when you forget. They don't get intimidated by your growth. They fuel it. They don't clap louder for strangers online than they do for you in real life. The right circle feels like elevation, alignment, and accountability. Eventually, you must become a builder, a dreamer, and a doer yourself. Not just attract them, because like attracts like. If you want powerful people in your life, become powerful from within. If you want loyal people, become loyal. If you want disciplined people, become disciplined. You don't get the circle you want, you get the circle you reflect. Make your environment a place where growth is normal, where excellence is expected, where vision is respected, and where dreams are protected. Build a circle that feeds your spirit, sharpens your mind, strengthens your discipline, and expands your belief. Because the truth is, you're not just choosing friends, you're choosing your future. Life is going to test you in ways you can't prepare for on paper. You're going to get hit with storms you never saw coming, losses you thought would break you, moments where you question if it's even worth continuing. But you need to understand something deep. Life guarantees two things: struggle and opportunity. And the struggle is not a punishment, it's preparation. The pressure you feel is shaping you for a level you prayed for. The setbacks you face are strengthening the exact muscles you're going to need when your blessing arrives. The struggle prepares you for the opportunity every single time. Everybody wants success to feel smooth, straight, and simple. But elevation comes with bruises. It comes with silence. It comes with losing people, losing money, losing security, losing the version of yourself you used to be. Being solid doesn't mean life never hurts you. It means when life hits, you don't fold. You don't run back to comfort. You don't give up on yourself because things got heavy. Being solid means you stand up differently after every fall. You adapt, you adjust, you evolve, and you come back sharper. You have to reframe how you see losses. Most people think failure is the opposite of success. It's not. Failure is the path to success. It's the training ground. It's the sharpening. Nobody great became great off winning alone. The real game changers, the real leaders, the people who inspire generations, go study their stories. Their wins were born from lessons learned in dark seasons, lonely seasons, disappointing seasons. They didn't escape struggle. They turned struggle into strength. Look at the story of Thomas Edison. He failed over 1,000 times before he got the light bulb right. People laughed at him, doubted him, called him crazy for chasing something that seemed impossible. And when reporters tried to clown him for failing so much, he didn't let shame touch him. He said, "I didn't fail. I learned 1,000 ways that won't work." That mindset is the difference. Most people would have quit after 10 tries, maybe 20. But the ones who change the world keep going because they understand something. Every no brings them closer to the yes that matters. Every attempt teaches them something the last attempt couldn't. That's resilience. Resilience is spiritual toughness. It's emotional armor. It's the ability to look at a setback and say, "I'm not done." It's choosing growth over self-pity. It's choosing lessons over losses. And the truth is, you can't develop resilience in comfort. You don't get stronger lifting no weight. You don't get wiser living with no adversity. You don't get depth without going through deep waters. The challenge you're facing right now, it's not blocking your path. It is your path. You're not being tested to destroy you. You're being tested to grow you. Think about your life. Think about the worst seasons you survived, the heartbreak, the betrayal, the financial struggles, the self-doubt, the days you think you bounce back. Look at you now. Look at how those moments changed you. You came out more aware, more intentional, more discerning, more resourceful. You learn who was real and who was temporary. You learn what you truly value. You learn how to depend on yourself. You learn how to pray with a different level of honesty. You learn that you're built with more resilience than you knew. The situation that almost broke you ended up building you. Resilient people don't take losses personally. They take them educationally. They don't say, why me? They say, what is this trying to teach me? They don't label themselves as failures. They take feedback from life and apply it. They don't sit in the pain forever. They extract the wisdom and use it as fuel. They understand that life isn't happening to them, it's happening for their evolution. But let's be real, resilience isn't automatic. It's a choice. It's a mindset you build day by day. It's built in moments where you want to quit but don't. It's built in moments where you cry but keep going anyway. It's built in moments where you walk alone because the vision is yours, not theirs. It's built when you silence your ego long enough to learn from the things that humble you. It's built when you forgive yourself for mistakes and choose to grow from them instead of being defined by them. You're going to have seasons where nothing seems to work, seasons where all the effort you're putting in shows no reward, seasons where people misunderstand you, doors close, and timing feels cruel. And those seasons are where most people give up, not because they weren't capable, but because they weren't resilient. They expected progress to look like a ladder, not like a maze. But if you stay long enough in the maze, eventually you find the exit. The maze wasn't there to trap you, it was there to build you. Think of a slingshot. Before it launches forward, it has to be pulled back. The tension, the resistance, the pull, it's what gives it power. That's your life. You're being pulled back right now because the launch requires strength. The further the pull back, the further the elevation. So if life is stretching you, be patient. Something bigger is loading. Resilience also means being kind to yourself while you grow. Some of you beat yourselves up for mistakes you made when you were just surviving, just coping, just trying to figure life out with the tools you had at the time. Growth means forgiving that version of you because that version got you here. Growth means understanding that healing takes time. Progress takes time. Reinvention takes time. But as long as you keep showing up, you're winning. Every person you admire went through a chapter that looked like failure. Every champion cried in private before they held the trophy in public. They didn't just work, they endured. They didn't just dream, they persisted through nightmares. If you want a life that inspires others, you have to embrace the lessons disguised as losses. Life is not asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be persistent, to be resilient, to trust that what's meant for you will align when you become the version of yourself who can handle it. And resilience is what turns you into that version. So when life hits, and it will, don't break. Breathe, reflect, learn, adjust, and get back up with a wiser mind and a stronger spirit. Because the comeback always tastes sweeter when you survived what was designed to stop you. You're not failing, you're being formed. Keep going. This world rewards the ones who stand tall when others crumble. If you master your mind, move with purpose, work relentlessly, protect your character, choose the right circle, stay resilient through adversity, you become hard, not in ego, not in arrogance, but in strength, discipline, and spirit. Remember, soft times create weak people. Hard times build strong ones. Choose to be the one who stays strong, stands firm, and rises no matter the storm. This isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. And only the solid survive the distance.